2024 and the Social Health Insurance Tribunal Procedure Rules of 2024. The Committee on Delegated Legislation laid its report on the table of the Senate on the 2nd of July 2024, and that pursuant to Section 18 of the Statutory Instruments Act, the Senate resolves that the Social Health Insurance Tribunal Procedure Rules of 2024, legal notice number 48 of the year 2024, be adopted. The local content, Senate Bills number 50 of the year 2023 by the chairperson on the Standing Committee on Matters Energy, a senator for the county of Nyeri, Senator Wahome Matinga, is another motion lined up for our debate this afternoon. The Heritage and Museums Bill, Senate Bills number 8 of the year 2023 by the chairperson Standing Committee on Matters Labor and Social Welfare. The chairperson Standing Committee on Matters Finance and Budget is on behalf of his committee seeking to have the Senate adopt the report of the Standing Committee on Matters Finance and Budget on the status of implementation of projects funded by the conditional grants for the construction of the county headquarters. The quorum has been achieved. Allow me to hand you over. Good afternoon.
Proceed to call the first order.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Senator Boni, I ordered you to take the seat. Now, honorable senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon of a delegation from the Ministry of Justice of the Republic of Namibia. The delegation is in the Senate for a benchmarking visit. I request each member of the delegation to stand when called out so that you may be acknowledged in the Senate tradition. Ms. Felicity Owoses, Chief Legislative Drafter. Ms. Naomi Angula, Deputy Chief Legislative Drafter. Now, honorable senators, in our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to them. And on behalf of the Senate and my own behalf, wish them a fruitful visit. I will request the majority whip to welcome the guests under 1 minute.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's a privilege for me to welcome the young women from Namibia, and I'm truly impressed. African women are coming of age, but the delegation is composed of only women. It is so nice. Kenyans must learn from this, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, these are very exciting times because up north, Kamala Harris is about to become the president of the United States of America. Good women, go and take care of our men in Namibia, but please don't sit on them the way women in Kenya sit on Kenyan men. Mr. Speaker.
Next order, clerk.
Order number 3, messages.
Order, Senator Seki and Senator Tobiko, you may take your seats, please. Honorable Senators, I wish to report to the Senate that I have, pursuant to Standing Order 46.3, received the following message from the Speaker of the National Assembly regarding the decision of the National Assembly on the Senate amendments to the National Rating Bill, National Assembly Bills number 55 of 2022. The message, dated Wednesday, the 24th of July 2024, was received in the office of the Clerk of the Senate on the same date. Now, pursuant to Standing Order 46.4, I will now proceed to report the message. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 41.1 and 148B, I hereby convey the following message from the National Assembly. Whereas, on 11th of October 2023, the National Assembly passed the National Rating Bill, National Assembly Bills number 55 of 2022, with amendments, and thereafter referred it to the Senate for consideration in accordance with Article 110(4) of the Constitution. And whereas on the 9th of May 2024, the Senate considered and passed the said bill with further amendments and referred it back to the National Assembly for consideration. Further, whereas on the 12th of June 2024, the National Assembly considered and rejected the Senate's amendments to the bill, the effect of which the bill is referred to a mediation committee in accordance with the provisions of Article 112(2)(b) of the Constitution. Now, therefore, in accordance with the provisions of Article 112 of the Constitution and Standing Order 41.1 and 148B, I hereby convey the said decision of the National Assembly to the Senate and seek the appointment of 9 senators to a mediation committee to consider the bill in accordance with Article 113 of the Constitution. Now, honorable senators, consequent to the said decision, the Speaker of the National Assembly appointed the following members of the National Assembly to the mediation committee to consider the bill in accordance with Article 113 of the Constitution. The Honorable Joash Nyamoko MP, Honorable Jane Kihara MP, Honorable Joseph Lelimengit MP, Honorable Joseph Gitari MP, Honorable Matthias Robi MP, Honorable Paul Katana MP, Honorable Engineer Tadeus Nzambia MP, Honorable Zamzam Mohammed MP, and Honorable Fatuma Jeho MP. Honorable Senators, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 166(2) of the Senate, and in consultation with the Senate Majority Leader and the Senate Minority Leader, I will, at an appropriate time, appoint senators to the mediation committee. Kindly stand guided. Thank you. Next order, Clerk.
Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
The Senate Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate today, 30th July 2024. Report of the Select Committee on the Legislation on the consideration of the various sets of instruments on land matters. 1, the physical and land use planning fees, amendments, regulations, legal notice number 72 of 2024. 2, the land amendments, regulations, legal notice number 74 of 2024. And 3, the land registration, general amendments, regulations, legal notice number 77 of 2024. This is Chairperson, Select Committee on Regulated Legislation. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, at the same time, Honorable Speaker, No, this is just a notice of motion. I think those are the papers I'm supposed to lay.
Next order, clerk.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
The chairperson, Committee on Delegated Legislation.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give the notice of the following motion. That the Senate adopt the report of the Select Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of the physical and the land use planning fees, amendments, regulations, Rio Notice number 72 of 2024, the land amendment regulations, Rio Notice number 74 of 2024, and the land registration general amendments, regulations, Rio Notice number 77 of 2024, arraigned on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 30th July 2024, and that pursuant to Section 18 of the Statutory Instruments Act and standing under 195.4, the Senate resolved to annul 1. The physical and the land use planning fees, amendments, regulations, Rio Notice number 72 of 2024. 2. The land amendments, regulations, Rio Notice number 74 of 2024. And 3. The land registration general amendments, regulations, Rio Notice number 77 of 2024. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Chairperson, Select Committee on Delegated Legislation.
Next order, clerk.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to give notice of the following motion as well. That whereas the Committee on Delegated Legislation is established under standing under 195.1 of the Senate's standing orders and is mandated to scrutinize as instruments laid before the Senate, recording that on 2nd May 2024, the valuers, forms and fees amendments rules 2024 legal notice number 69 of 2024, the survey amendments regulations 2024 legal notice number 71 of 2024, and the land and education amendments regulation number 2024 legal notice number 76 of 2024 were read in the Senate and referred to the Committee on Delegated Legislation for consideration and scrutiny pursuant to Section 12.1 of the Statutory Instruments Act Cap 22A and standing under 195.3 of the Senate standing orders, noting that these statutory instruments seek to amend the valuers, forms and fees rules 1987, the survey regulations 1994, and the land adjudication regulations 1970 respectively, which pursuant to Section 21.1 of the Statutory Instruments Act expired. Further, noting that in course of considering the statutory instruments, the committee was informed that an order had been issued by the High Court in Machakos, petition number E002 of 2024, Innocent Musumbi Kimandhi versus the Attorney General, and the National Assembly suspended the expiry of the statutory instruments containing the statutory instruments, exception from 2022, legal notice number 218 of 2022, further suspending the operations of Section 21.1 of the Statutory Instrument Act, Cap 24. Appreciating that under Section 15.2 of the Statutory Instruments Act 2022A, the committee is required to make a report on the statutory instruments within the 28 days after the date of referral of the instruments by the Senate, and that with regard to the three statutory instruments, the time lapses on 30th July 2024. Further, appreciating that in light of the court order issued by the High Court in Machakos, the committee requires additional time in order to conclusively interrogate the matter and scrutinize the statutory instruments. Now, therefore, pursuant to Section 15.3 of the Statutory Instruments Act, Cap 2A, the Senate resolves to extend the timeline for consideration of the various forms and fees amendment rules 2024, legal notice number 9 of 2020, the survey amendment regulation 2024, legal notice number 71 of 2024, and the land and education amendment regulation 2024, legal notice number 76 of 2024 by 21 days in order to enable the committee to conclusively consider and scrutinize the statutory instruments. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Statements pursuant to Standing Order 52.1. The Honorable Senator James Lominen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 52-1 to make a statement on a matter of general concern, the need for affirmative action to increase the representation of marginalized and underrepresented communities in the public service. Mr. Speaker, despite the Public Service Commission's effort to improve inclusivity, much work remains. The Kenya Constitution in Article 54 and 56 mandates affirmative action and professional representation to ensure that marginalized groups have access to employment opportunities. However, these measures have not been adequately implemented for Turkana County and other similarly marginalized communities. Mr. Speaker, sir, Turkana County is one of the largest counties in Kenya with a population of 926,976 people, according to the 2019 census. Despite its size and the potential of its people, Turkana County is significantly underrepresented in national government positions and the public service. This underrepresentation hampers the growth and development of the region and perpetuates economic disparities, causing the community to lag behind others due to inequality in national affairs. Mr. Speaker, sir, recent data reveals significant imbalance in the representation of various communities in public service. Out of 252,007 civil servants employed by the Public Service Commission, some of the marginalized communities, including the Konso, Dahalo, Makonde, Awer, Wayu, Elmolo, Ogaden, Suba, Dorobos, James, Taveta, Burji, Porona, Gabra, Rendile, Gara, Tasanach, Somali, Sakuye, Masai, Turkana, Samburu, and Pokot have been marginalized and are represented. In contrast, some other communities account for nearly half of all the civil servants, holding 96 to 48 positions. These statistics highlight a systematic issue that requires urgent corrective measures. Mr. Speaker, this underrepresentation has a ripple effect on aforementioned communities, exacerbating poverty and limiting access to opportunities that could lead to other economic and social development. The lack of representation in national institutions contributes to a cycle of deprivation that affects generations. Kenya cannot effectively tackle its national poverty index without implementing affirmative measures to include these underrepresented communities in opportunities. Mr. Speaker, sir, noting the need to advocate for an inclusive and prosperous Kenya, I urge the Standing Committee on National Cohesion, Equal Opportunity and Regional Integration to, in conjunction with the relevant government institution, consider undertaking the following actions to look into this matter. 1. Review employment policies to ensure that public service recruitment processes are equitable and provide fair consideration to individuals from marginalized and underrepresented communities mentioned above. 2. Establish or implement clear affirmative action targets and measures to increase the representation of marginalized and underrepresented in public service roles. 3. Promote active participation by encouraging individuals from the marginalized and underrepresented communities to participate in public service recruitment through outreach and information campaign. And finally, develop robust mechanisms for monitoring and reporting on the progress of affirmative action initiative to maintain transparency and accountability. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Statements pursuant to Standing Order 53-1. The Honorable Senator Maruma. Senator for Turkana. I'm told you have another statement under Standing Order 52. So, at what juncture do you wish to give it? Tomorrow?
Now, sir.
Then proceed.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 1, Standing Order 52-1, to make a statement on a matter of a countrywide and general topical concern, namely the need to recruit additional National Police Service (NPRs) in banditry-prone areas of Turkana County, particularly the areas along the international border and internal border areas in Turkana East and Turkana South sub-county. Prevailing shortfall and to guarantee the safety and well-being of the communities in Turkana County. Mr. Speaker, sir, the recruitment of additional NPR has the following merits. First, cost-effective. Utilizing NPRs will be more cost-effective than deploying the regular security services. Two, knowledge of the locality. NPR, being residents of the area, possesses an intricate knowledge of the terrain and communities, thus aiding effective counter-banditry operations. 3, rapid response. The immediate availability allows for quick response to banditry attacks, enhancing security in vulnerable areas. 4, community trust. NPR, being members of the local community, can easily build trust with locals, facilitating intelligence gathering and cooperation in maintaining security. 5. Willingness to serve. Recent government initiatives such as provision of medical insurance cover to NPR indicate improving conditions for those risking their lives in such areas, thereby increasing their readiness to serve. I further wish to call upon the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations to take up this urgent matter and ensure that the ministry recruits additional NPR and put into place other strategic measures to effectively and permanently address the insecurity situation in this region. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is imperative that we collectively work towards comprehensive and sustainable solutions to contain the menace of banditry and enhance the security infrastructure in all vulnerable regions in Kenya for equitable development of every part of Kenya. Thank you, sir.
Statements pursuant to Standing Order 53-1. Honorable Maruma, MP.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to request for these two statements. The first one is on bank accounts operated by Taita Taveta County Government. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget regarding the bank accounts operated by Taita Taveta County Government. In the statement, the committee should, 1, on its implementation that include
activities in this country. Money's worth of these coins was minted and released into circulation when the new generation coins were unveiled. And B, explain why these coins are no longer in use for trading. C, outline the inflationary impact the failure of using
men and the person laughing loudest is Senator. Fake news circulated provide any financial records
of the public. And finally, outline any safeguards put in place by the county government to mitigate the impact of the planned development, as well as any challenges that may arise in the implementation of the plan, considering that the planned development is on the beach and is likely to have a huge impact on the ecosystem of the area. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order, clerk. Yeah, we go to divisions.
Order number 8, the Houses of Parliament Bicameral Relations Bill, National Assembly Bills number 44 of 2023, resumption of debate interrupted on Tuesday, 28th May 2024, division.
Now, honorable senators, we have 8 divisions to undertake. I realize that we have the requisite numbers of delegates, and we may proceed with this exercise that has been deferred for the last 3 weeks. So I will therefore ask the Sergeant at Arms to ring the division bell for 5 minutes.
The issue, we have some really heavy statements that have been read at the floor of the House. I beg you, Mr. Speaker, to allow us to either support and add our voices on this.
We'll come back to that after the divisions, Honorable Gloria, so you will have an opportunity to comment.
The division bell is currently on at the Senate per guidance by the Speaker for the House to consider, or better, vote for bills that are currently lined up for division. Among them is the Houses of Parliament Bicameral Relations Bill, the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, the Street Vendors Protection of Livelihood Bill, and the other bill lined up for a division this afternoon is the Law of Succession Amendment Bill, the Public Transport Motorcycle Regulations Bill, the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill number 2, and the Fire as well as Rescue Services Professionals Bill, Senate Bills number 55 of the year 2023. A closer look at the Houses of Parliament Bicameral Relations Bill, a bill from the National Assembly, Bill number 44 of the year 2023, the Houses of Parliament Bicameral Relations Bill is an act of Parliament to give further effect to the procedures relating to the matters of the bicameral between the two Houses of Parliament as contemplated in Chapter 8 of the Constitution of Kenya and for the connected purposes. Having introduced the bill, let us now have a look at its objective, the bill is seeking to give effect to Article 109, 110, 113, 114, as well as 118 of the Constitution, and seeks to foster the bicameral relations by prescribing the procedures for ensuring seamless consideration of the legislative business by the both houses of Parliament. Clause 3 of the bill provides for the objects of the bill, which include to provide a framework for determining the nature of a bill, define the bills that do not require a joint resolution by the Speaker. This is under Article 110, subsection 3 of the Constitution. Equally, define the bills that are considered only by the National Assembly, and define bills that will only be that are bills that are concerning county governments, as well as define bills concerning the county governments. Clause number 4 of the bill provides for the publication of the bills originating from either houses of Parliament, the enactment formula, and imposes timelines for such publications to cure scenarios where the government printer at time delays in the printing of bills at the request. Allow me to hand you over back to the chamber.
Sergeant at Arms, proceed to close the door and draw the bar. Order, honorable senators. Senator Onyonka, Senator Seki, and Senator Falamu. Clerk, you may proceed to call the order. Now, honorable senators, we're going to division on order number 8. Before we do that, I will need 2 tellers. One for the nays and one for the noes. Senator Gloria Taylor for the nays. The nays. We need another teller for Senator Beth Siang. Huh? Okay. I'm informed our system is up and running, so we're going to vote electronically. In which case, then we will not need the tellers. But should it fail us, Senator Gloria and Senator Bessiang are on standby to help us in this regard. Now, take a seat, honorable senators, Senator Omtata and Senator Kavindu. Where is Senator Kavindu disappeared to? Okay, honorable senators, I will now proceed to put the question on order number 8, which is that the House of Parliament, Bicameral Relations Bill, National Assembly Bills number 44 of 2023, be now read a second time. Now, as I've already stated, voting shall be done electronically, and therefore, at this juncture, I will ask honorable members to log out by removing your cards from the delegate unit. Sergeant at arms, kindly go around. Any card that is unattended to, please take it from the delegate unit. And once you've done that, Sergeant at arms, kindly let me know so that we proceed with the voting. Proceed to your seat, Senator Omtata. Senator Seki, Lelegwe rather, you don't just roam the floor of the House when the chair is upstanding. Proceed to go take your seat, Honorable Nyonka. Proceed to your rightful place. Okay. Sergeant at arms, are we ready? Now, honorable senators, you may log back and proceed to vote by pressing yes, no, or you abstain. Kindly proceed. Clerk, do we proceed to the next order? Now, honorable senators, the result of the division are as follows. Ayes 26, nays 1, abstention 0, so the ayes have it. Next order, clerk.
A bill for an act of parliament to give further effect to the procedures relating to matters of a bicameral nature between the houses of parliament as contemplated in chapter 8 of the Constitution of Kenya and for connected purposes.
Yes, next order, proceed.
Order number 9, the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 40 of 2023, second reading division.
Now, honorable senators, I'll proceed to put the question that the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 40 of 2023, be now read a second time. If the system is ready, honorable senators, you may proceed to vote once the system is up and running. You may now proceed to vote, honorable senators. Honorable Senators, the results of the division are as follows. Ayes 27, nays 0, abstention 0. So the ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Public Finance Management Act and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 10, the Street Vendors Protection of Livelihood Bill, Senate Bills number 41 of 2023, division, second reading.
Honorable Senators, I'll proceed to put the Senator Onyonka, proceed to the dispatch and cast your vote. Honorable Senator, the result for the division on order number 10 is as follows. Ayes 27, nays 0, abstention 0. So the ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to provide a legal framework for the recognition, protection and regulation of street vending in Kenya, the identification of minimum standards for street vending and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 11, the Law of Succession Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 20 of 2023, second reading division.
Now, honorable senators, I'll proceed to put the question, which is that the Law of Succession Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 20 of 2023, be now read a second time. If the system is up and running, you may proceed to vote. Can we get the system running? Order, honorable senators. The result of the division on order number 11 is as follows. The ayes are 23. The nays at 4. Now the bill has failed to garner the requisite number of delegates. What is your intervention, Senator Lominen?
Mr. Speaker, as a point of order, in at order 89, in case of confusion of error, Mr. Speaker, we were talking with the dignified member of Busia, so I made it error to press no instead of yes. So, and I have children, Mr. Speaker, sir, and I've taken that responsibility.
Okay, have your seat.
But I didn't confuse him. He convinced me to vote.
Take your seat, Senator Lominen. Having listened to you and having listened to Senator Mtata, certainly there was some confusion. I will therefore direct that another round be taken on this particular order. No. A fresh round will be taken for everybody. We are going to have another round of electronic voting. So, can you get the system back so that you allow honorable senators to vote? I thought it was very clear, Senator Boni. There was confusion, and understanding order 89, the only recourse we have is to order for the speaker to order for another round of voting electronically. So let us proceed to vote. Yes, Senator Boni.
I want to thank you for that ruling, but I would like to request you to make a clarification. Kenya is becoming more and more transparent. Gen Z would like to know that the reason why there was confusion is because some of the people wanted to lock out their own children that they have birthed. This law is trying to protect.
You're out of order, Senator Boni. You're totally out of order. Yeah. Can you put the system on screen so to allow honorable senators to vote? Senator for Busia, you do not have the floor. If you want the floor, you know what to do. Senator Omtata, you cannot term the proceedings. You cannot term the proceedings of the House as scam. Understanding order 89, it is very clear. The senator for Turkana stood. You said he confused you, therefore there was confusion. Exactly, and therefore there is confusion. Can you put the screen on so that we proceed? I will throw you out once we are done with business. I will throw you out once we are done with business. Let us proceed to vote, honorable senators. Senator Mtata, you may sit down. I'll throw you out once the door is open. For now, it's locked. Order, honorable senators. Order. Let's conclude order number 8. Honorable Omtata. Clerk, can you proceed with collecting the results? You know, time is running, honorable senators. Time is running. Order, honorable senators. Order. Honorable senators, order. You, Senator Mtata, you cannot invite the chair to throw you out. You cannot dictate on what to do. I will throw you out when I wish. But for now, okay. Order, honorable senators. You know, the voting period is concluded. I'm waiting for the results. Can you let the clerk do his job? Order, Honorable Gloria. Senator Omtata and Senator Osotsi. Proceed to the dispatch. Let the honorable member cast his vote. Order, Senator Gloria. You may. Senator Omtata, proceed. Order, honorable senators, take your seat. Senator Manzo. Now, the result of the division on order number 11 is as follows. Abstention 0, ayes 23, nays 4. The bill fails to garner the requisite delegations, and therefore the bill fails. Next order.
Order number 12, the Public Transport Motorcycle Regulation Bill, Senate Bills number 38 of 2023, second reading division.
Honorable Senators, order Senator for Vihiga. I will proceed to put the question. Now, honorable senators, Senator Kinyua and Senator Bett, I proceed to put the question on order number 12, that the Public Transport Motorcycle Regulation Bill, Senate Bills number 38 of 2023, be now read a second time. Once the system is up and running, you may proceed to cast your vote. You cannot raise a point of order, Senator Maruma. If you need clarification, the system is up. Yes. So, Sergeant at Arms, kindly withdraw the bar, open the door, and ring the quorum bell for 5 minutes.
The division bell is almost coming to an end for senators to consider the remaining bills that are due for division. The bills are namely the Public Transport Motorcycle Regulations Bill, Senate Bills number 38 of the year 2023, the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill number 2. This is a bill by nominated Senator Chimera, and the Fire and Rescue Services Professionals Bill, Senate Bills number 55 of the year 2023. This afternoon, senators have voted for a couple of bills to proceed to this second reading. The bills are the Houses of Parliament Bicameral Relations Bill, National Assembly Bills number 44 of the year 2023, the Public Finance Management Amendment Bill, Bill number 40 of the year 2023, and the Street Vendors Protection of Livelihood Bill, and this is Senate Bills number 41 of the year 2023. Interestingly, the Laws of Succession Amendment Bill has failed to garner the requisite support by senators this afternoon, and the bill ends at that particular point. Senators 20 in number voted yes, while 4 voted no, thereby denying the bill the required support for it to proceed to the next stage. And this was a bill that was proposed by the senator and nominated Senator Veronica Maina, that was seeking to streamline matters inheritances in the country. The bill was seeking to ensure that children born out of wedlock, as well as those adopted, would benefit from the various monies as well as properties and other inheritances by the deceased. Let's now have a look at this particular law that has failed to sail through to the next stage. And the Law of Succession Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 20 of the year 2023, is an act of Parliament seeking to amend the Law of Succession for the connected purposes. The bill was seeking to amend the Law of Succession Act to eliminate discrimination in the distribution of property of the deceased. To achieve this, the mover of the bill was proposing to amend Section 3, Subsection 2, and repeal Section 3, Subsection 3 of the Act, which the Kenyan courts have found discriminative against the adopted children and children who have not been expressly recognized and accepted by their father. In seeking the support of the bill, the mover had highlighted that the bill will ensure that the Law of Succession Act complies with the provisions of Article 53 of the Constitution, which provides for the equal care, protection, and responsibility towards children of both parents, regardless of their marital status. The bill further sought to protect children of the deceased whose mother was not a wife of the deceased by ensuring that they are considered as additional units, and their share of the estate devolves them at the time of a succession. The bill was also seeking to ensure that widows are not discriminated, as often they lose interest in their deceased spouse's property upon marriage, whereas widowers do not. The bill further states that the court had previously found Section 35 and Section 36 of the Act to be unconstitutional for discrimination on the basis of matters gender. The bill further sought to ensure that where the parents of the deceased are entitled to inherit the deceased child's estate, both the mother and the father receive an equal share of the estate, and that the court had previously also found Section 39 to be unconstitutional in so far as it gives father the priority when it comes to inheriting the property of their deceased children. An interesting turn of events this afternoon. As the House failed to gather the requisite numbers to allow the Law of Succession Amendment Bill to proceed to the next stage. Upon the lapse of the division bell, scheduled for 5 minutes, the House will vote on the other remaining 3 bills that have matured for division. This is an interpretation that the House has already debated the allocated time for each and every bill, and what is due at this particular juncture is for the House to vote for the bills to proceed to the next stage. Allow me to hand you over back to the chamber. Enjoy your viewing.
Honourable Senators, I put the question that the Public Transport Motorcycle Regulation Bill, Senate Bills number 38 of 2023, be now read a second time. Please log in afresh. Sergeant at Arms, look out for those cards that are not attended. Honourable Senators, you could kindly start voting now. Log out and log in. Majority Leader, please approach the clerk's desk for assistance in voting. Senator Gloria, resume your seat. Honorable Senators, these are the results of the division on the Public Transport Motorcycle Regulation Bill, Senate Bills number 38 of 2023. The ayes 28, nay 0, abstention 0. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to provide for the regulation of the border industry and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 13, the Constitution of Kenya Amendment number 2 Bill, Senate Bills number 52 of 2023, second reading division.
Honorable Senators, you may please log out. Please log back in. Senator Seki, please resume your seat. Senator Halwale. Honorable Senators, I now put the question that the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill number 2, Senate Bills number 52 of 2023, be now read a second time. Please log back in. You may proceed to vote. Just wait. Senators, honorable senators, do not vote yet. Do not vote yet. I'm reading out. I need to read out certain provisions of the Constitution. Honorable senators, do not vote yet. I will read out. Do not vote yet. I will read out the provisions of the Constitution. Honorable senators, the division that has been called out is regarding an amendment to the Constitution, and I want to read out for you Article 256 1D, that the amendment that is on the floor of the House shall have been passed by Parliament when each House of Parliament has passed the bill in both its second and third readings by not less than 2/3 of all the members of that House, meaning all delegations are voting together with all special elect senators, that is the nominated. And to achieve the 2/3, we would need 47 votes. That 47, 2/3 of 67. Can you give me the calculation? Secretariat, it's 45, not 47. It will only be successful if we achieve 45 votes. That is the bill you're voting in right now. Senator Bonnie Halole, what is the clarification?
Madam Speaker, the clarification I seek is that being the case, it means even before we take the vote, we must have at least 45 delegations in the House. So, Madam Speaker, since there are no 45 delegations now, we can't proceed with this vote, Madam Speaker. Could you issue that clarification? Sorry, 45 members. Could you please issue that clarification further? We can't proceed.
Honorable senators, in view of the numbers that we have in the House, this vote shall be deferred to the next sitting. Next order.
Order number 14, the Fire and Rescue Services Professionals Bill, Senate Bills number 55 of 2023, second reading division.
Honorable senators, you may log out. And I now put the question that the Fire and Rescue Services Professional Bill, Senate Bills number 55 of 2023, be now read a second time. Please log back in. We may proceed to vote. Senator Kamau Thuku, please approach the clerk's desk. Senator Karungo Dangwa and the majority leader, please approach the desk for assistance. Honorable Senators, resume your seats. These are the results of the division on the Fire and Rescue Services Professional Bill, Senate Bills number 55 of 2023. The ayes 27, nay 0, abstention 0. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to provide for the establishment, administration, powers and functions of the Fire and Rescue Services Professionals Board, to provide for the examination, training, registration, and licensing of fire and rescue services professionals and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 15, motion, report of the Select Committee on delegated legislation on its consideration of the Social Health Insurance General Regulations 2024 and the Social Health Insurance Tribunal Procedure Rules 2024.
Honorable Senators, can you please log out? Honorable Senators, please resume your seats. Senator Abba, Senator Osotsi, Senator Betty. Honorable Senators, I put the question that the Senate adopts the report of the Select Committee on delegated legislation on its consideration of the Social Health Insurance General Regulation 2024 and the Social Health Insurance Tribunal Procedures Rules 2024, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 2nd July 2024, and that pursuant to Section 18 of the Statutory Instruments Act, the Senate resolves to annul 1. The Social Health Insurance General Regulation 2024, legal notice number 49 of 2024, and 2. The Social Health Insurance Tribunal Procedure Rules 2024, legal notice number 48 of 2024. You may proceed to log in and to vote. You may start voting, Senators. Senator Oburu, where are you? And Senator Seki, Please approach the clerk's desk. Honorable Senators, the results, Senator Abdul, can you resume your seat? Senator Abdul, resume your seat, please. Honorable Senators, these are the results of the division on the report of the Select Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of the Social Health Insurance General Regulation 2024 and the Social Health Insurance Tribunal Procedures Rule 2024. The ayes 24, the nays 4, the ayes have it. Abstention 0. Next order.
Order number 16, motion, report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the status of implementation of projects funded by the conditional grant for the construction of county headquarters division.
You may log out, Senators. Senator Abdul, can you please resume your seat? Honorable Senators, I put the question that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the status of implementation of projects funded by the conditional grant for the construction of county headquarters laid on the table of Senate on Thursday, 28th March 2024. Please log back in, ready for voting. You may start voting now. Senator Abbas and Senator Oburu, please approach the clerk's desk. Senator Oburu, please approach the clerk's desk. Senator Omugeni, that is distracting Senator Oburu. Honorable Senators, these are the results of the division on finance and budget on the status of implementation of projects funded by the conditional grant for the construction of county headquarters. A report that was laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, 28th March 2024. The ayes 26, nay 0, abstention 0. The ayes have it. Honorable Senators, we have one motion that requires urgent attention, and for that we will reorganize. I will reorganize the order paper so that agenda number 28 is called out, and after that we'll have a few minutes for the statements, comments on the statements. So next order. Don't open the bus. The speaker, the chair is in charge. You hold it. Honorable Senators, you may resume your seat. We want to correct an error that has occurred on record in respect of the results announced in item number 15. That's the report of the Select Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of the Social Health Insurance General Regulation 2024 and the Social Health Insurance Tribunal Procedure Rules 2024, and Understanding Order 90, if after an electronic or a roll call vote has been made, it is discovered that the number has been inaccurately reported or that an error has occurred in the names of the division list, that fact shall be reported to Senate and the Speaker shall direct that the necessary correction be made. We noted that Senator Abdul Haji had voted electronically, but he also approached the clerk's desk, the dispatch, and voted yes. I think he assumed the system didn't take through his vote. As a result, that changes the vote. It negatives one vote on the ayes from 24 to 23. So the ayes are 23, the nays are 4, abstention 0, and it has been negated. That's the result on the 15th. Senator Boni, what is the clarification?
Madam Chair, Madam Speaker, consequence to that finding, it then makes a very substantive pronouncement on the outcome, to the extent that a motion that had sailed has now been negatived. Can you please, Chair, the Speaker, clarify whether this is therefore not necessary that we vote again? Clarify. I know you know these things better than me. Let the Speaker.
Honorable Senators, the standing orders actually do give powers for correction of errors, but just for clarity and to make sure that you're sure of the vote you have given, I will direct that you... 89, standing order 89. Once doubt is introduced, it is good to clear the air. So I'll use standing order 90. We uphold the highest levels of integrity in the voting system in the House. So clerk's desk, honorable senators, let's consult in low tones. Yes, what's your point of order, Senator Cherarige?
Madam Speaker, under the same standing order number 89, with all due respect, it says cannot be corrected. Mr. Speaker, under standing order number 1, you have the power to correct that one vote. Instead of subjecting, Mr. Speaker, correcting, not necessarily calling for another vote, Madam Speaker, because it cannot be corrected. So I'm inviting Mr. Speaker, just clarification, Madam Speaker. Just clarification, Madam Speaker. Understanding order number 1, you subsume those powers to correct that one vote because there are members who want to use washrooms. We have been holding them for that long, Mr. Speaker. and they are becoming uncomfortable, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker.
Senator Cheradigei, thank you for your submissions, but I have given the directions and it's proceeding to a vote. Let's proceed to a vote. Let's make it easy. Senators, let's consult in low tones. Please log out and log in, back in. It is 15. What's your point of order, Senator? Senator Sifuna, proceed.
Madam Chair, you have put a direction on the floor, but I can see my colleagues. They are all standing up and defying the directive of the Speaker. Because, Madam Speaker, we have just had a similar situation with the situation with the Senator of Turkana, and we put it to a vote. And we are all here. Yeah, we will just clear the air. But, Madam Speaker, the guidance I needed from you, Madam Speaker, is how it is possible for a member to ascertain. I'm not doubting what you have told us. How can we ascertain that that error involving Senator Haji actually happened? How can we be able to ascertain that?
Oh, you can approach the desk. I have seen where he signed.
Very well.
And I've also seen the electronic.
Very well.
So, honorable senators, please resume your seats. Senator Karongo, resume your seat. Senator Madago, resume your seat. Senator Betty, you're on the opposite side of the house. Resume your seat, please. So, broad-based government, then resume your seat on the government side. That's welcome. Senator Gloria, resume your seat. This should take us under 2 minutes. Honorable senators, please resume your seat. Senator Mudigi, Senator Madago. Honorable senators, Senator Madago, you are out of order now. Senator Embu, Senator, resume your seat. Honorable Senator, I put the question that the Senate adopts the reports of the Select Committee on Delegated Legislation on its consideration of the Social Health Insurance General Regulations 2024 and Social Health Insurance Tribunal Procedure Rules 2024 laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 2nd July 2024, and that pursuant to Section 18 of the Statutory Instruments Act, the Senate resolves to annul the Senate Health Insurance General Regulation 2024, legal notice number 49 of 2024, and 2, the Social Health Insurance Tribunal Procedure Rules 2024, legal notice number 48 of 2024. Please log back in and vote. Please start voting. Start voting. Vote now. Senator Wambua, can you approach the clerk's desk, please? Dispatch. Honorable Senators, resume your seats so we can announce the results. Senator Seki. Senators, please resume your seat. Honorable Senators, these are the results of the division on the report of the Select Committee on Delegated Legislation on the Consideration of Social Health Insurance General Regulations 2024 and the Social Health Insurance Tribunal Procedure Rules 2024. The ayes 21, nays 8, abstention 0. The question has been negatived. What is your point of order, Secretary?
I have counted the delegations in the House currently, and there are 28. I don't know how the number 29 who voted comes about.
Let's confirm. Senator Faki, have you counted Senator Beatrice, who is voting on behalf of the delegation from Homa Bay? Just come to the table and reconcile the names with the clerk's desk. As you do the confirmation, we move to the next order. Sergeant at Arms, you may open the doors and... Honorable Senators, we are... Okay. Clerk, Honorable Senators, order, Senators. It's a small issue, we will resolve it. Resume your seats, Honorable Senators, then we resolve that issue. That's okay. Senator Omugeni, resume your seat, we resolve that issue. Senator Lelengwe, if you resume your seat, Senator Betty, resume your seat. Clerk, Have you confirmed the list, the number of votes? Let's see the number of votes. Sergeant, at times it's always important to withdraw the cards that are not attended to. Okay, Honorable Senators, please resume your seats. Honorable Senators, please resume your seats. We resolve this issue. Senator Kamau Thuku, please resume your seat. Honorable Senators, we have looked, the clerk has looked through the list of the senators who have voted on this bill on the second round, and under Standing Order 90, we once again have corrected the error that it appeared as though Senator John Kenywa voted, while in actual fact that's not the position. So that has been corrected, even Senator Mudigi. So the vote is as follows. These are the results of the vote. The ayes 21, nays 7, abstention 0. The question is still negative. What is the point of order?
You know, we have a title called Honorable Members. When we sit here as senators and it transpires that somebody has cast a vote on behalf of two senators who are not in this house, how does it reflect on our integrity as honorable members? You know, Madam Speaker, there are things where we should draw a red line. We cannot degenerate to that level. How do we trust each other? If we sit in this house, Madam Speaker, you realize your colleague is not there, because you want to carry the vote, you vote on their behalf. This is a matter that we should refer to the powers and privileges. We know who cast that vote so that we bring this to an end, Madam Speaker. You don't have to win by all means. You win in a fair contest, Madam Speaker. So I direct, Madam, these were two votes cast. We'll request, Madam Speaker, that you refer this matter to the power and privileges. We know who has voted fraudulently on behalf of senators who are not in the House. If we don't protect the integrity of this House, we are failing completely.
Thank you, Senator Omugeni. What point of order, Senator Cherarige?
Madam Speaker, we should not be emotive about anything for referring members just to powers and privileges to look good in the eyes of the public. Because our reading of Standing Order number 91 does not in any way, I'm not protecting anybody who voted on behalf of another senator, but there is nowhere that says that if a senator votes on behalf of another senator, he is being referred to powers and privileges. The conduct and decorum during division as per Standing Order number 1 is very clear. That shall maintain. And Madam Speaker, the question should be, every time we are going on a division, you have directed that the Sergeant at Arms withdraws all the cards that are not active. So it's not the making of members. It is the making of your own direction. And the Sergeant at Arms should advise us or brief you in camera or otherwise to tell whether those cards were withdrawn, because you have already, in every division, you have been directing. So you cannot shift blame to members, yet the direction has already been issued. And Madam Speaker, I don't think this thing can be referred to powers and privileges as early as now. Madam Speaker, in the lower house, a member alleged that 2 million were given to members, allegation, but the Speaker of that house has not even allowed that matter to be referred to powers and privileges. Madam Speaker, this is a small matter. The Bible says, forgive 70 times, time is 70. We don't need to create a mountain. Madam Speaker, we don't need to create... Madam Speaker,
someone is on the floor.
Madam Speaker, in conclusion, we don't have to create a mountain out of an anthill, Madam Speaker. Let it be bygones, and we move as a house, Madam Speaker, under the broad-based ideology, Madam Speaker. I thank you.
Honorable Senators, let me give a guidance. Honorable Senators, I am the one who is guiding the proceedings of the House. Resume your seat. Senator Modigi, resume your seat. Resume your seat, Senator Modigi. I have given you... you are out of order. I said resume your seat. Resume your seat, Senator Modigi. Senator Modigi, resume your seat, or I get you out of the House. Resume your seat. When I direct you to resume, Senator Modigi, when I direct the House, I direct you to resume your seat. That's what you do. Don't argue when you've been given a direction from the chair. Senator Modigi, you're out of order. I want to give a direction on this issue because we are not going to deal with many other... Senator Sifuna, what's your point of order?
Madam Speaker,
Honorable Senators, you all cannot speak at the same time together. We must give one another a chance and be reasonable.
Madam
Please,
Speaker,
Senators.
I'll be very brief because I've seen the application of Standing Order 89 twice this afternoon. I think for me the more concerning issue is how is it possible that an error affected one vote and then when the question was put again, you see that people have voted totally differently from how they voted just a few minutes earlier. I think that for me is a greater concern, and it reflects very badly on the House and on the integrity of the votes that we take here. It is very critical, the process that you have undertaken there of ascertaining every person's vote, because Madam Speaker, as you know, we are in an age where we have to explain our individual votes on every single matter that comes before this House. So it is an important process. Maybe I would not align with the proposal to take it all the way to powers and privileges, but as a House we must reflect on this conduct, and it is not something that reflects well on us. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Sifuna. Senator Gloria, I will give you a chance, but you should avoid booing when you don't get your chance as fast as you want it. Be respectful in the House.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Well guided. Madam Speaker, I just want to point out that when we had the Speaker, Kingi, at his seat, and we had started voting on one of the bills, Madam Speaker, even the Speaker himself asked, where is Senator Agnes Kavindu, who was in the House, and the division bell had already rang, and the doors were already closed, but she was nowhere to be seen, Madam Speaker. She had probably gone to the toilet or somewhere, Madam Speaker. So what I'm trying to say, it is very unfair that we have senators here who are actually casting aspersions towards other senators. You have seen Mudigi has just walked back in because he was in the bathroom. So to start saying, and you know, Madam Speaker, I have been sent to the Powers and Privilege Committee, so I know what it means when someone stands and says, we must send someone to the Powers and Privilege. It's not a committee to be abused, Madam Speaker. What maybe we need to do is have a system that can be transparent so that in case of an error like this one, we can be able to see what the issue was. And also, Madam Speaker, what Senator Sifuna has raised is of more concern than Mudigi's card being in the system when he's in the bathroom, having voted and he walked away. Because, Madam Speaker, what we are seeing is people changing their minds within 30 seconds of voting. So the issue here is not that there are senators who are actually going against the code of conduct of this House. I feel that this issue of misusing the Powers and Privilege Committee, Madam Speaker, that should be shunned. As we have been told, the National Assembly have had people stand up and literally paint the House as a house of corruption without any evidence, and that person has not been called to the Powers and Privilege. But here, you literally say, hey, something is wrong, they've taken you to the Powers and Privilege, where it is the same culprit who was there. We need to also stop abusing the systems that are here.
Thank you, Senator Gloria. Senator Enoch Wabua, the final point of order will come from Senator Wambua, and I'll give a guidance on the issue.
I'm on a point of order.
Senator Boni Halwale, I give you a chance to raise a point of order. There are many more senators here from 47 counties and another 20 senators, 67. Let's give one another a chance. It's Senator Wambua's turn.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I will also try to be very brief. I've listened to my colleagues and the appeal they have made in relation to the use or misuse of the Powers and Privileges Committee. Madam Speaker, two things. One, the reference being made to what transpired at the National Assembly was a matter of allegations. An allegation was made that money was paid. An allegation. Madam Speaker, we are not dealing with an allegation here. We are dealing with a fact that a senator who was not in the chamber during division has voted. That is a fact. That is not conjecture. That is not an allegation. Madam Speaker, I will not guide you on how to manage this House, and I cannot. You know, Standing Order number 89 talks about confusion or an error in the vote, the numbers. Maybe you do your maths, don't get it right. Madam Speaker, what has happened in this House is a deliberate move by a senator to vote for and on behalf of another senator. Lastly, Madam Speaker, you have, I see my friend is consulting, which is fine. Madam Speaker, Standing Order number 1. Cheragay made a reference to 91 and said that there is no express provision for a member to be referred to the Powers and Privileges Committee for voting on behalf of another member. But Standing Order number 1, which you have used many times, many times, gives the Speaker the power on matters that are not expressly provided for by the standing orders to give direction. Madam Speaker, we will sit here and wait for your ruling, and we will be guided by it. We will deal with it appropriately.
Honorable Senators, having listened to all the points of orders that have been raised by different senators on this issue, Senator Boni, Senator Cherarigay, Senator Enoch Wambua, Senator Gloria, and Senator Sifuna, and having been part of the proceedings that have happened in this House, I want to bring to the attention of the House that Standing Order 89 and Standing Order 90 envisage that there are possibilities that there could be a confusion or an error, and they provide a platform on which those errors can be corrected. At every point when those errors have been raised, the chair has made sure that there is an effort, a serious effort to correct those errors, just to make sure we have a very credible vote and a credible result. And any attempt to bring a result that is not credible, the chair has definitely rebuffed it, because we want a proper vote and the integrity of the House to be upheld. And honorable senators, the much I can say about the vote is that if a senator is absent, nobody should vote for that senator unless they are within the delegation from that specific county. I am not sure how the system returned a vote on Senator Kenywa. I will request the clerk to ensure that a report is made on how that could have happened. Senator Mudigi appears to very strongly defend his position that he's been in the House and had stepped out to the bathroom. And the rest is capable of being reported back to this House just to give the assurance that the vote has been done properly, and that should be the procedure. So the clerk's desk will prepare a report and will be presented in due course during the Senate proceedings so that that error is not repeated. But, honorable senators, all is not lost. The chair has ensured that the vote that is being reported, the result that is being given, is the correct report. After that report is received, that's when a decision can be made on as to whether another senator did actually go to the desk of Senator Kenywa and vote or not. And with that, senators will proceed on to the next order and abide any further ruling after that report is made. And we must always remember that these proceedings are on camera, that evidence is able to be gathered within whatever happens and takes place within the House or Senate. So we will now proceed on to the next order, and those are issues that are able to be corrected. They do not go to the root, especially when the standing order is giving the platform on which corrections can be done on the vote. So we will proceed on to the next. We have reorganized the order paper, as I had earlier stated. So I will request the clerk to call the next order number. I had reorganized the order paper to have the urgent motion being read out, which is lapsing today, and then we have the comments after that. So we proceed to order number 28. It has a lapse date in a few hours.
Order number 28, motion, extension of time for consideration of the valuers, forms and fees, amendment rules 2024, legal notice number 69 of 2024, the survey amendment regulations 2024, legal notice number 71 of 2024, and the land adjudication amendment regulations 2024, legal notice number 76 of 2024.
That is a procedural motion, so we are not expecting debate on it. Senator Mofaya.
Speaker, Madam Speaker, whereas the Committee on Delegated Legislation is established under Standing Order 195.1 of the Senate Standing Orders and is mandated to raise the statutory instruments read before the Senate, recording that on 2nd May 2024, the various forms and fees amendments rules 2024, legal notice number 69 of 2024, the survey amendments regulation 2024, legal notice number 71 of 2024, and the land adjudication amendments regulation 2024, legal notice number 76 of 2024, were read in the Senate and referred to the Committee on Delegated Legislation for consideration and scrutiny pursuant to Section 12(1) of the Statutory Instruments Act, Cap 2A, and Standing Order 185.3 of the Senate Standing Orders, noting that those statutory instruments seek to amend the various forms and fees, rules 1997, the survey regulations 1994, and the land education regulation 1970 respectively, which pursuant to Section 21(1) of the Statutory Instruments Act expired. Further, Madam Speaker, noting that in course of considering the statutory instruments, the committee was informed that an order had been issued by the High Court in Machakos petition number E002 of 2024, Innocent Musumbi Kimanthi as versus the Attorney General and the National Assembly, suspending the expiry of the statutory instruments contained in the statutory instruments exemption expiry regulation 2022, legal notice number 218 of 2022, and further suspending the operations of Section 21(1) of the Statutory Instrument Act, Cap 2A. Appreciating that under Section 15(2) of the Statutory Instrument Act, Cap 2A, the committee is required to make a report on the statutory instruments within 21 days after the date of a referral, of the instruments by the Senate, and that with regard to the three statutory instruments, the time lapses on 30th July 2024. Further, Honorable Speaker, that in light of the court order issued by the High Court in Machakos, the committee required additional time in order to conclusively interrogate the matter and scrutinize the statutory instruments. Now, therefore, pursuant to Section 53 of the Statutory Instruments Act Cap 2A, the Senate resolved to extend the timeline for consideration of the various forms of fee amendment rules 2024 legal notice number 69 of 2024, the survey amendments regulation 2024 legal notice number 71 of 2024, and the land education amendment regulation 2024 legal notice number 76 of 2024 by 21 days in order to enable the committee to conclusively consider and scrutinize statutory instruments. Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I beg Senator Mahanzo to support the motion.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I beg to second the motion. And on top of what the Honourable Chair has added, indicate that Machakos petition number E002 of 2024, Madam Speaker, is in fact res judicata because we still have a similar matter which is before the Court of Appeal, and probably if the court in Machakos gets this information, it will make it, easier for the court to decide the matter be res judicata or being pending in another court, and therefore there is duplicity of suits, and most probably then the litigants in Machakos will be advised to join the main suit in this particular matter. Madam Speaker, I beg to second.
Honourable Senators, I propose the question that whereas the Committee on Delegated Legislation is established under Standing Order 195.1 of the Standing Orders and is mandated to scrutinize statutory instruments laid before the Senate. Recalling that on 2nd May 2024, the Valuers, Forms and Fees Amendment Rules 2024, Legal Notice Number 69 of 2024, the Survey Amendment Regulations 2024, Legal Notice Number 71 of 2024, and the Land Adjudication Amendment Regulations 2024, Legal Notice Number 76 of 2024, were laid in the Senate and referred to the Committee on Delegated Legislation for consideration and scrutiny. Pursuant to Section 12.1 of the Statutory Instruments Act, Cap 2A, and Standing Order 195.3 of the Standing Orders, noting that these statutory instruments seek to amend the Values, Forms and Fees Rules 1987, the Survey Regulations 1994, and the Land Adjudication Regulations 1970, respectively, which, pursuant to Section 21.1 of the Standing Instruments Act, expired. Further noting that in course of considering the statutory instruments, the committee was informed that an order had been issued by the High Court in Machakos petition number E002 of 2024, Innocent Musimbi Kimanthi versus the Attorney General and the National Assembly, suspending the expiry of the statutory instruments contained in the statutory instruments exemption from expiry regulations 2022 Legal Notice Number 218 of 2022, and further suspending the operation of Section 21.1 of the Statutory Instruments Act Cap 2A. Appreciating that under Section 15.2 of the Statutory Instruments Act Cap 2A, the committee is required to make a report on the statutory instruments within 28 sitting days after the date of referral of the instruments by the Senate, and that with regard to the three statutory instruments, the time lapses on 30th July 2024. Further appreciating that in light of the court order issued by the High Court in Machakos, the committee requires additional time in order to conclusively interrogate the matter and to scrutinize the statutory instruments. Now, therefore, pursuant to Section 15.3 of the Statutory Instruments Act, Cap 2A, the Senate resolves to extend the timeline for consideration of the Valuers Forms and Fees Amendment Rules 2024, Legal Notice Number 69 of 2024, the Survey Amendment Regulations 2024, Legal Notice Number 71 of 2024, and the Land Adjudication Amendment Regulations 2024, Legal Notice Number 76 of 2024, by 21 days in order to enable the committee to conclusively consider and scrutinize the statutory instruments. Honorable Senators, it is now open for debate. Senator Gloria. Senator Paul Thangwa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to support this motion. And I, from the outset, thank the committee for doing what our standing orders require, that whenever you've been tasked to do something and you're not able to finish within the time frame that you're required to, you come back to the House and request for the extension. And I'm so gladly now, Mr. Speaker, support this motion. And yes, the committee requires more time, but as they do require more time, they should remember that the times have changed, that nowadays in everything you do, as required by the Constitution, you must involve the people. You must work with them step by step, what you are doing, what you are scrutinizing, and especially on matters of statutory instruments, land, fees, and all that, Mr. Speaker. And I also urge the committee in expediting this matter, they should do more research. Because, you know, when you're talking about a law that was passed in 1970 and you're in 2024, a lot has changed. And I believe the committee is up to task, and I support this motion, Mr. Speaker.
Mover, Senator Mofire, please reply. One moment, Senator Mofire. Mohamed Faki, you wanted to contribute? Okay.
Nilikuwa nimebofya Mheshimiwa Spika, lakini inazima ikiwaka. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii kuunga mkono hoja ya kuongeza muda kwa kamati ya delegated legislation ya bunge hili ili kuchunguza na kupitisha zile kanuni za sheria za ardhi. Mheshimiwa Spika, kanuni hizi japokuwa zililetwa katika bunge kwa muda unaofaa, baada ya kuondolewa kuvunjwa kwa baraza la mawaziri, Mheshimiwa Spika, ilibidi tukose kuwasiliana na waziri kuhusiana na kanuni hizi, kwa sababu Mheshimiwa Spika, waziri anapaswa kuja mbele ya kamati kuweza kujibu maswali kuhusiana na kamati hizo katika kazi ambayo tunafanya wakati tunaangalia kanuni hizo. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa hiyo ukosefu wa kupatikana kwa waziri kwa wakati imechangia pia pakubwa kuweza kukamilisha masuala haya. Kwa hivyo muda wa siku 21 ambao umeombwa, Mheshimiwa Spika, utasaidia pakubwa kuweza kuwasiliana na waziri na ya waziri kuja mbele ya kamati ili aweze kujibu yale maswali ambao tulitarajia atajibu. Mheshimiwa Spika, tumeweza pia kupitisha kanuni nyingine 3 ambazo zilikuwa kwa pamoja na hizo 7, na nyingine nafikiri zitakuja kama ambazo zimekataliwa. Mheshimiwa Spika, jambo la kusikitisha ni kwamba hivi leo mchana zile kanuni za sheria ya afya zimeweza ripoti yetu imeweza kukataliwa na bunge hili leo mchana. Na Mheshimiwa Spika, jambo la kusikitisha ni kwamba
wiki iliyopita ama wiki mbili zilizopita, mahakama ya majaji watatu walitupilia mbali sheria hizo za afya na ikaipa bunge siku 120 kuweza kuangalia tena ni vipi wanaweza kuzirekebisha, kwa sababu zilikuwa zinakwenda kinyume na katiba. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, ina maana kwamba sisi hapa katika bunge mara nyingine hatuangalii ama hatuzingatii yale yanayotokea sehemu nyingine katika serikali. Kwa mfano Mheshimiwa Spika, ule uamuzi wa mahakama wa juzi ni kiungo muhimu, kwa sababu zile kanuni ambazo tunaziangalia zilikuwa zimewekwa kwa misingi ya ile sheria ambayo imetupiliwa mbali na mahakama. Kwa hivyo sheria imetupiliwa mbali, haiwezekani kwamba sisi kama bunge la Senate kuweza kuzipitisha kanuni zile. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, hii ni kuwatanabaisha maseneta wenzangu kwamba ni lazima tuwe tuko macho kwa mambo yanayotendeka mahakamani, kwa sababu mahakama pia inajaribu kuziangalia zile sheria ambazo tunapitisha katika bunge hili, na ikiwa sheria ziko kinyume na katiba, Mheshimiwa Spika, sheria zile hazitaweza kusimama. Kwa hivyo tutakuwa tumepoteza wakati wetu mwingi kujadili na kupiga kura hapa, lakini ikifika mahakamani zinarejeshwa, zinatupwa nje na tunarudi tena kuanza upya mchakato wa kuweza kuidhinisha sheria zile. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, hii muda ambao tutapewa utasaidia pakubwa kuweza kuwezesha kamati hii kukamilisha kazi yake na iweze kuleta ripoti ambayo itakuwa ni ripoti ya kueleweka katika bunge hili. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
Senator Enoch Wambua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also stand in support of the request by the chair of delegated legislation for an extension of time to consider their regulations. Mr. Speaker, the only thing that I want to say on this matter, and I wish the Senator for Tharaka can listen to this because this is important to him. You know, I have realized, Mr. Speaker, that there is a level of disconnect that is not healthy between the delegated legislation committee and the rest of the House. You know, these delegated legislations that the committee deals with are very, very important for actualizing relevant legislations in all sectors of our country. So I would urge the committee then, in view of what has happened a few years ago, that even as they consider these regulations, it will be important for the committee to find ways of appraising members on exactly what these regulations are saying, the import of the nature of the vote that members cast, so that, Mr. Speaker, we don't have these embarrassing situations where a committee has sat on regulations for months, only for a motion to come and fall flat on its face on the floor of the House. We need to engage more. We need to lobby more. And I don't see a lot of that happening these days. I don't see a lot of lobbying. Chairs of committees lobbying other members before a matter comes to a vote. We don't leave these things to the whips. The whips will bring the numbers. But on matters where there is no party position, on matters that affect legislation and regulations, let then the committee for delegated legislation take the lead in lobbying members before you take a vote. The Speaker, I support.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Mofai, you can reply.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I want to sincerely thank the supporters of this motion of extension of time. Honorable Speaker, I beg to reply as follows. I request that by putting the question, but before that, Honorable Speaker, I have taken the counsel, the guidance from Senior Wambua. But of course, Honorable Speaker, I read thoroughly through the report of the committee. And as Honorable Senator Karungwadangwa said, this committee is very critical, especially when it is dealing with this statutory instrument, because, Honorable Speaker, we were seeking extension of time for us to get enough time to look at all the aspects, including the public participation. You know, some of these matters, Honorable Speaker, touch on counties. So it's important for us, Honorable Speaker, as a committee to get this extra time so that we can get to know whether all the stakeholders were brought on board. You know, Honorable Speaker, some of these instruments are very sensitive, especially when it comes to the stakeholders that they affect. And that's why, Honorable Speaker, we sat down, considering that there is also a case pending in Machakos some times back which was filed, and it's a matter before court already. So, Honorable Speaker, so I'm seeking to your guidance whether we can have this matter maybe discuss at a date, not but because we cannot raise the numbers for that question, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, I am seeking putting the question, the matter being deferred to a later date, pursuant to starting order number 66.3.
Thank you, Senator. That matter is deferred. We will go to the next order. I'm directing that we go back to order number 17. Clerk.
Order number 17, motion, report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the Senate nominees on behalf of the county governments to the position of member of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission.
I think the chair is not here. It's deferred. Next order.
Order number 18, the Local Content Bill, Senate Bills number 50 of 2023, second reading, resumption of debate.
What's your point of clarification, Gloria?
Chair, I've been patiently waiting because we were directed that we would be given a few minutes to comment on the statements. And, Chair, it seems that that has been forgotten.
Very well. We shall defer order number 18 and we shall allow statements. Senator Gloria.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, thank you for this opportunity to add my voice and contribute towards the statement of Senator Cherargei of the use of social media platforms and all the misinformation and the inflammatory statements, manipulated media, and the issue of fake news that we are currently dealing with in the country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think it's imperative.
Just one moment. What is your point of order, Senator Montet?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I know that we don't have a quorum in this House at the moment.
Clerk, can we confirm that we have quorum? Sergeant at Arms, ring the bell for 10 minutes. Honorable Senators, having failed to attain the quorum at the expiry of 10 minutes, the House stands adjourned pursuant to Standing Order 41-2A until tomorrow, Wednesday, 31st July 2024 at 9:30 a.m.